In episode 148 for November 23rd, 2020, Kevin Johnson joins me this week to discuss the Twitter firing of Chris Krebs, director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, and our thoughts about a common sense approach to social media and Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. Looking to give the gift of privacy this holiday season? Well, our sponsor, Silent Pocket, has a huge sale going on right now until November 30th, where you can get a free Silent Pocket hat, free domestic shipping, and 15% off everything on silentpocket.com. Not only that, right now some of their most popular Faraday products are 40% off. To take advantage of this exclusive holiday offer, visit silentpocket.com and use discount code SHAREDSECURITY at checkout.
Is your team starting to show signs of fatigue from traditional security awareness compliance training, or from phishing assessments that target them for those teachable moments? As we've seen in recent news, these kinds of training are having a negative impact on corporate culture, and they're really not all that effective. So there has to be a better way. ClickArmor is the first gamified learning platform that helps build a self-defending team through engaging learning challenges and exercises. Its unique lesson templates, built with proven gamification techniques, let people learn and exercise important defensive concepts in a safe and fun environment. Whether you need to quickly deploy a training solution that gets people to stop clicking on things immediately, or you've got your own boring content that needs to be put into a more interesting user experience, ClickArmor can help. So go to clickarmor.ca/sharedsecurity to learn how to build a self-defending team.
Welcome to episode 148 of the weekly Shared Security Show, and joining me to talk about the news this week is the great and powerful Kevin Johnson.
I have this image of me hiding behind a curtain in a big throne room and pretending to be the Grand Wizard of Oz or something.
Yes. Well, you are the great and powerful Kevin Johnson, in my eyes, Kevin. And
I thank you. I appreciate that.
In our audience as well. So
maybe not.
I stole that from Joe Rogan, actually, because he welcomes all of his guests with the great and powerful so-and-so. So I thought I'd give you that as well. And I always have to come up with something creative every episode to introduce you. So,
okay.
There you go.
Just, I still say that what you should just randomly do is call me Keith, because you and I will get the joke about it being my twin brother's name, but nobody else will.
Yeah. Or I could call you the Hacker Princess.
You could call me the Hacker Princess. Mike Poor, actually, yes. I guess today is National Princess Day.
Oh.
And he greeted me with that this morning. So.
Yes. I'll never forget. I was in that Sands class when Mike came in with, was it Mike that came in with the t-shirt?
Yes. He sent.
We're going to tell this story now, aren't we?
I don't know. Do you want to tell the story?
Yeah, let's tell the story.
So years ago, I think Brenna was 5, right? Like, Brenna is my oldest daughter, for anybody who doesn't know. And we were at a restaurant, and the waitress came, and you know how people talk to little kids, right? And they said, what do you want to be when you grow up? Which I still don't understand, because I'm 47 and I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. But we asked little kids, and Brenna says to the woman, "I want to hack computers like my dad." And the waitress looks at me and says, "Are you her dad?" Well, that's what her mom says. And really, and we had a different waiter the rest of the night. And I was going to hack her credit card right there at the table or something.
Yeah.
And so I said to Brenna, "I thought you wanted to be a princess." And Brenna looked at me like I was the stupidest person in the world. I feel dumb telling you this story, because I know you know this story. And Brenna looked at me and said, "I want to be a hacker princess, Dad." So I told that story in class one day. And just as I got to the line, "I want to be a hacker princess," Mike Poor, my old boss at InGuardians, awesome guy, walked into the room. So he heard.
And it was class of 200, 300 people?
I don't think it was that big, but it was a lot. And he walked in and went, "Done," and walked out. So I knew I was in trouble. And he bought a shirt. He got his facilitator to go out, and buy a shirt. It says Hacker Princess. As a matter of fact, I still have the shirt. And made me put it on in class. I actually rode an electric bull in New Orleans wearing that shirt.
Yes. There may be pictures of that somewhere in the internet.
Oh, there's no.
I don't know
maybe.
if I have it, but
there are definitely pictures of that. I have them.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Well, that is a fun story, and I will always remember that that moment. And lots of good moments with you, Kevin, over the years. So.
I'm not sure how to take that, but okay, let's go.
Yes, we are. But more importantly, it has been last time we spoke was before the election. So, and It was crazy before the election. Now I think the world has gotten crazier in recent weeks since the election. And we all know what's going on with that and the count and all these things. But I know the big news yesterday, and I know everyone's listening to this on Monday, but Chris Krebs, who is the director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, was fired over a tweet by President Trump. I think that's amazing these days that people are being fired through a tweet. But
I hope that there's actually some process on the back end.
I'm
just saying, but I don't know. Know. Like, here's my question. Yeah. If you get fired this week, let's ignore the presidency, right? Okay. Right? But if I tweet out, right, you're fired to one of my staff. Do they have to come in the next day? How do you handle that?
How do I get you my laptop? What?
I don't know what to do.
What do we do?
I don't know
do I get an exit interview?
Yeah. You're getting walked out. Well, actually, you're getting tweeted out. So, Chris Krebs, and let's be very clear. We're joking about it from a perspective of how it was handled.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty angry he got fired.
I am too. The whole security community is actually.
Yeah, and I don't care your politics. I said this. I don't remember where. I think it was on Facebook. I said it. I've been way cut back on my interactions with Facebook, but this one I cared about enough. And I don't care your politics. You have somebody who is doing their job as apolitically as possible, and just posting facts. Right. Yes. As a matter of fact, in the tweet. Trump listed a whole bunch of things that he supposedly disagreed with Chris Krebs on, and I looked and I saw none of them as things Chris Krebs had that the CISA, because we say Chris, right, but none of them were things that we saw in the rumor control thing that we talked about in the last podcast, right? So I really feel like it makes me angry. There's a ton of things that have made me angry in the last 4 years. I'm not trying to diminish any of those things, but this pissed me off.
It's very disappointing just considering the work that that department did to secure the election, and I want to be clear too. Their job is not just to secure the election from foreign entities, right, but domestic as well. And I give him a lot of credit for coming out and taking the high road in a lot of ways that maybe some others wouldn't necessarily take. He was very professional. I mean, even in his tweet after he was fired, he said, very professionally, we did our job. This is it, and it will continue.
I will say that I'm happy to see that his second in command, who obviously has stepped in as temporary, has already talked publicly via Twitter and other means about the fact that the mission is going to remain the same. They're going to keep that forward momentum, and I hope that everybody else who remains in that organization have the strength of character we saw in Chris Krebs. Yeah. Right.
I agree. And I don't think people should worry so much of he's unemployed now and he's going to get picked up very quickly, either in the commercial side or even maybe in the Biden administration.
I would,
you know,
if I was Joe Biden, and again, I'm not, not taking sides politically or whatever. I know my opinion.
You hate both sides equally.
I do. That is exactly my opinion. I hate both sides equally. I would love to see Biden announce in the next little bit that he's picking up Chris as an advisor, as something, position with the plan of putting him back into the position he was in, because that organization, and anybody who knows me knows I'm not a big fan of government expansion. And
No.
CISA is a government expansion. It's an
Sure.
organization that did not, what was it created in 2017, 2008? It was
Not long ago.
It was within the Donald Trump administration
Yeah.
that it was created. But it's the type of expansion I'm okay with. It's what we're supposed to be doing, right? So, yeah.
It's it's a kind of a sad situation, but I kind of taking that further. I think it's been just since the election, I haven't seen the disinformation or the untruths stop.
Nope.
In fact, I think it's gotten worse since the election is over, because now there is a whole campaign, of course, not to make this political, but these are the facts, that the Republicans and Donald Trump are sending lawyers and Rudy Giuliani out to, change the vote.
You mean the landscaping?
Yes. The landscaping company. Yes. But it is very concerning to me. And then I see, Chris Krebs being fired. What are, I guess, people to believe when we're talking about social media and these topics? It's
first off, I think that people should just pay attention. One, I want to add a correction. It's not just the GOP, right?
Yeah.
We're seeing disinformation nowhere near to the same level, but from people who are publicly on the left, right? And when we talk about the next topic with Section 230,
I agree.
We can talk about the absolute and total falsehoods from both sides on that one. But we have bipartisan lying. The reality is that we just need to pay attention. And I'll give you an example. I saw a video yesterday that was about data they took from a server in Spain that had voting information. It was the real voting information, and here is what the Electoral College results would be if this real voting information was real. And I looked at it, and let's be clear. Is it possible that voting data got stolen and stored or was put onto a server in Spain? And yes, that is theoretically, it's as possible as the conversation I had with my father-in-law on a regular basis before he died, where he would say to me, but how do I know that lottery email wasn't real? It's theoretically possible that he won a lottery from somebody in Nigeria, but it is unlikely. Yeah. But let's take it one step further. They announced that Donald Trump had really won, 306 Electoral College votes, right? And they show the map. And again, I don't care your politics. I don't know anybody who would believe that California went red in this election, which is what the map of this supposed source, the U.S. Army went in and took control of the server and then for some reason published it through OAN. And it listed California as voting overwhelmingly for Trump. And I don't care what side you're on. Who would believe that? Yet people are sharing it. People are, I saw an entire thread of tweets about people who are, they found out their wife voted for Joe Biden and they're packing up everything and they're going to Vietnam. And for some reason, every single one of the tweets, and we're talking about hundreds of tweets from different accounts. Why Vietnam?
Is it Vietnam because that's the only country that'll let Americans travel?
Maybe.
Because
I don't know.
You can't go to Canada right now, so.
Good point. It's such a weird, what I have found is so much of the information it's the same thing as with every other piece of fraud, right? If it's
Yeah.
too good to be true, if it is too much of, well, it validates what you were saying, right? Not because we look for evidence, right? But this idea that, man, every single thing on here makes me feel right, makes me feel better, makes me feel like I'm better than the other side. Question it. No, it may be real. It may be true, right? Questioning
question
stuff
everything.
doesn't hurt. Yeah.
More than we've ever had to question things.
Yeah. And the sad part is I'm seeing both sides questioning less, right? Friends of mine that are very, very liberal that are discussing the fact that, there are proof that Trump is leveraging the army to create a coup and take out Nancy Pelosi and Hillary Clinton, by the way. I'm not sure why we're still going after Hillary Clinton with the army, but right, like it's well, Trump's going to run for a third term, or he's not going to leave, or right, like so much of it. And again, don't care about the politics behind it. Yeah. Like I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, or stinking commie. I like saying stinking commie. It's
yes. It's just, I'm just so surprised how quickly things have changed in the last just year alone in terms of the amount of disinformation, falsehoods, and lies that are just all over social media and news. And not just social media, like turn on your TV.
Provably false, like yes. On their face, provably false. I don't have to go, like I hear from a lot of people, well, the mainstream media says. First off, right off the bat, the minute you refer to something as mainstream media, I tune you out.
What is that even, right?
Where did you hear about that? On Fox? But
or CNN.
It doesn't matter, right? But I'm amazed at provably, obviously contradictory things, right? That people will just blatantly post. And then when you call them on it, right? When you say, hey, wait a minute. Like, for example, Lindsey Graham, how is it possible that the Democrats fixed the election for Biden, yet you still won, right? Like, did they only rig the presidential election? They only rigged the top half of the ballot, right? And you ask questions like that, not of Lindsey Graham, because he's just a waste. But sorry, that was political.
I say it's not political.
Yeah, but it's not political. He's a waste, no matter what his politics are. But so you call out the contradiction, and then it's like, well, yeah, that's true, but the rest of what I said is accurate. Like, no, you can't. I don't know. It amazes me, the cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, and I guess I see it too from the perspective of a cyber attack, right? We talk a lot about phishing, and we talk a lot about these social engineering attacks. Yeah. Now more so than ever, you have to question everything and stay more aware of that email that you get or that text message, because
yes.
One, it's going to be probably politically charged in some way to get you to do something, because that's just the environment we're in right now. Or two, it's going to be based on a falsehood that's being spread, or a lie, or an untruth. Yep. And it's going to get you again to either, because you either disagree with it and you're like, oh, I know that's fake, I'm clicking the link, or, taking advantage of, the just us being humans, and we're naturally going to be curious about these things. So.
Well, and I find that, when you start to dig down that path, I've always loved conspiracy theories. I have. I collect them, right? I've probably read and
I like the UFO ones.
So. I love the UFO ones. I love the we didn't land on the moon ones. Like, all seriousness. Let me rephrase that. I loved 2 years ago when I could watch those videos and laugh at those yokels that would believe that stuff, right? One of my favorite videos was it Buzz Aldrin that knocked the guy?
Oh yeah, he punched him.
Yeah, butt over tea kettle down the stairs for calling him a liar, right? And I loved those videos, and I would watch them. And I want to be very clear, I would watch them knowing they weren't real, right? But what I realized probably about 2 years ago is that many people, and maybe even myself, you watch something that you know isn't true, but you pick up kernels of things that are like, well, yeah, we really did land on the moon, but that thing about the flag waving, that makes sense. No, it doesn't, right? Like it doesn't. And I'm moving this away from politics on purpose, right? But it has amazed me how we've taken and normalized falsehoods. That blows my mind. And I don't think we can say there's one person or one group or one type of people, right? And the worst part of it is people that I admire and respect have adopted the idea that no matter what it takes, we need to fix the problem, up to and including spreading their own falsehoods to try to fight. And you're just undermining yourself. So yeah, it's a rant for me for a while, but.
Yes. And then now we have new social networks spinning up, right? Have you seen Parler? Have you heard that?
Yes.
It's supposed to be censor free.
But only censor free if you like what they censor.
That's right.
Right. What is it? One of the rules is that you can't post pictures of your own excrement in comments replying to people.
Something like that.
And I read that and I immediately thought to myself, does that mean I can post pictures of other people's excrement? And how do they prove if it's mine or not? Like, right? Yeah. Exactly. You can't post pictures of your own excrement, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, and you have fleets on Twitter now, so.
I've heard about it. I don't see it. I don't see that feature.
You don't got it? You don't have it yet? Oh, it has not rolled out to you.
That's okay. Because let's be clear, I don't think I'm going to use it.
Twitter's now Instagram.
Yeah. And I didn't use Instagram when it was Instagram.
Well, there you go. There you go. But yes, the world is falling apart as we know it. I think we wanted to talk about 230, Section 230. Yes. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I know we've covered this before on the show. I know I sent you that article that the EFF had put together I thought it was a really good article just talking about, don't blame Section 230 for big tech's failures, blame big tech. And we'll have this linked in the show notes if anyone wants to read it. But
I loved the line in the article where the EFF says that 230 is just common sense.
Yeah,
right?
It is.
Because it really is. It is. It's not a tech subsidy as Cruz says. It's not a way for big tech to abuse its users, as Nancy Pelosi says. I find it absolutely fascinating that this appears to be the first hot button topic other than backdoors and encryption, which is the other hot button topic that is very bipartisan. Why is it that our political representatives, because I won't call them leaders, are willing to spin up and cross the aisle for stuff that is just downright stupid and wrong? And I don't think they're dumb. I honestly don't. We hear all the time, oh, Ted Cruz is an idiot, Nancy Pelosi is an idiot, whatever, right? Like the side we don't like are stupid. I don't think they are. I don't think anybody can get to that position and be stupid.
Agreed.
So in my mind, that means that they are purposefully lying about what Section 230 does. And they're purposefully lying to do what they want to accomplish. And that to me is worse than just being ignorant, right?
Yeah.
And I've read Section 230. I'm not a lawyer. I've never even gone to college, right? So, I don't have this special background that understands this stuff. And I've read Section 230 and it reads very clearly and plainly to me, with information that makes sense. Even if you don't agree with it, even if you can say, like, I don't like that law, it just reads plain. And yet there is so much misinformation being spread directly about it that it goes back to the whole thing: trust and verify, and
That's right.
check all this stuff. It bothers me, and this is one of the few times you'll ever hear me say this. We need to call our representatives, and we need to make sure that they understand that they are breaking the First Amendment if they change Section 230.
Oh, absolutely. It'll be a totally different internet.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So.
Well, with that, let's we'll end on that note. Of course, the next episode we'll talk about something more uplifting and more positive.
or maybe we won't.
Or not. Because this show is all about, hacks and exploits and, all the, things going on. And unfortunately, there's just a lot of crazy things going on worthy of discussing. But as always, Kevin, I really appreciate you coming on the show, giving us your thoughts. And I hope you stay well in this. How's the coronavirus situation in Florida? Like everybody else, it's just a mess.
I stay inside.
Yeah, same here. Everything's starting to go into lockdown again here. So
masks. Wear a mask.
Yeah, wear your masks and
your nose is attached to your lungs.
That's right. But until next time, Kevin.
Yep.
We'll talk to you later. That's a wrap for this week's show. Visit our website, sharedsecurity.net, for show notes, all previous episodes, and to sign up for our email newsletter. First-time listener of the show, please subscribe wherever you like to listen to podcasts. And if you like this episode, hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week for another episode of the Shared Security Show.